Welcome back to Greening Up My Act, the podcast where we dash all your hopes and dreams of being an eco-friendly member of society. But no, I'm just kidding. Hi, Tiffany.
Cat. I hope not.
No, I think Greening Up My Act is a podcast about nuance and learning and about how there's no such thing as a perfect solution, but we're trying to arm our friends and ourselves with information about making the best choices that we can to care about the environment and our pocketbooks and doing things effectively in our lives. So that's what this is about. Yes.
And using things that actually function and work and are not just a big headache.
Yeah.
Like DIY dishwasher detergent, for example.
Which if you haven't listened to that episode, if you want to hear our first soggy granola, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But we have had some winners this season too, because we're talking about waste. This is season 2 of Greening Up My Act, and we had some My Little Ponies instead of 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So glass recycling, aluminum recycling, paper recycling. Those are all relatively functional things.
Surprisingly functional, yes. I would say.
I think we kind of went in thinking that they were going to be death cults. The only one that is a death cult is plastic. So
and it 1,000% is.
Yeah. So
we are 2 marketing writers, and we love to explore products that market themselves as green or eco-friendly, and we love to just find the green hooey in all the nonsense because we kind of know how companies operate behind the scenes. So
we've dealt in our own hooey, so we know we know what the words are.
Handed it out to the world. That's
Indeed.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of hooey, there's a lot of it in this episode. So this week, I'm just going to dive right in. We're talking about clothing, dealing with clothing, basically clothing waste. And specifically, I was supposed to delve into thredUp, which is like online consignment reselling. So
yes,
but it's a death cult. I'm just going to give that away now. Not that thredUp is necessarily a death cult unto itself, but clothing waste in the United States is a death cult.
Okay.
So this may be our other famine of this is not a My Little Pony. So
okay. Oh no.
Yeah, but there's don't worry. We'll get to the good.
Okay, thank God.
So I'll just go through real quick my sources this week.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. News and World Report, they had 7 top online consignment shops for selling your clothes. The Guardian, this is an article I saw actually on Instagram that I've been saving in my phone for about 8 weeks now. But The Guardian had, it's like a death pit, how Ghana became fast fashion's dumping ground.
Oh, Lord.
Just to give it away. The Better Business Bureau, complaints about thredUp, Inc. The Roundup had 17 most worrying textile waste statistics and facts. Green America had what really happens to unwanted clothes. The Good Trade had how does textile recycling work? Reader's Digest had an article on this is what really happens to your used clothing donations. Vogue had an article on how sustainable is consigning clothing. The Real Real is glad you asked. And then We Hate Waste, which you introduced us to last week, which is a blog written by a New Yorker. And she had a bit about visible mending. So I just added that in because I was like, that's perfect. So those are my sources for this week. I wanted to start with what is thredUp. If you're like me and you're chronically online, your Facebook ads and your Instagram ads feed you thredUp or other stores like this. It's an online consignment store. So consignment is when a store takes something and sells it on your behalf, and they keep a percentage of it, and then if they don't sell it, they either give it back to you or donate it, whatever. And there are consignment stores for furniture and places like that's it. For the record, if you need new furniture and you want something nice, a lot of estate sales and places will sell nice furniture for a bargain of the price.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to one. But
I love consignment stores. And they're better than antique stores because they're usually
estate
curated.
Sales.
Oh, estate sales are great too.
Yeah. But I kind of find it a little depressing, but
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a celebration of life sometimes. I don't know.
Oh, good. I have used thredUp several times, so I'm really curious about. Okay. And I have opinions, but.
Okay. Well, so the idea is they take your unwanted clothes in a clean out bag, which they send you when you sign up. They sort them for what's sellable. They sell what they can on your behalf. They pay you for what they could sell, and then they do what they want with the rest unless you ask them to send it back to you. That's the basic premise. You're supposed to send them gently used clothing, and payback is a percentage of what they sell based on its selling price. So the lower the price they can sell it for, the less they'll give you. So you get like 3 to 15% for stuff that's under $20, and then up to 80% of stuff that sells for $200 or
Oh, wow.
more. So it's not really worth it for you to sell like a t-shirt that's going to be $4 because you're going to get 3% of that, you know?
Yeah, you get literal
Yeah,
pennies.
literal pennies. And they'll offer credit, like store credit. So like if you've ever shopped at the Buffalo Exchange,
Yes.
that's a very common consignment, well, not consignment store, because they buy the clothes from you outright, but they can give you store credit, which is worth more than cash.
Yeah.
The issue is like if it doesn't sell and you don't reclaim it, thredUp gets to do whatever they want with it. So we'll get into that a little later.
Okay.
US News and World Report also lists Queenly, The Real Real, Vestiaire Collective, Poshmark, and Kitizen. Those are the 7, including thredUp, that
Okay.
they list for online consignment shops. So why would you use thredUp? Okay, it's easy. They just send you this clean out bag. You throw all the unwanted clothes that you have in there and you drop it in the mail. Piece of cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
You may be able to make money. You may be able to get some money for, your high-end Chanel dress that you've worn once, or your J. Crew dress that still has tags on. You may make some money off of that. You can get rid of the clothes you don't know what to do with if you're not close to a thrift store or something where you could drop it off and you don't feel like donating it. It's makes it really easy, and then you may think in the back of your mind that you're donating the clothes in the end because they say that they might donate them if they can't sell them. So
Okay. I
there's
always thought they
that
said that
possibility.
they would recycle them, but I might have made that up in my
Yeah,
head.
I think it's a little fuzzy around the
Okay.
edges. The other thing is it does reduce your footprint. Now, these statistics are kind of a little weird to get to. So, according to this article by Vogue, where they're talking about the Real Real, which they just created their own sustainability calculator. So,
Hmm.
the Real Real is committed to sustainability in fashion, and whatever you sell or buy used on there, it helps you calculate like what you're saving in terms of global warming or climate change
Hmm.
output. So, for instance, they said, to put it in perspective, consigning one pair of jeans conserves 279 liters of water as compared to like a new pair of jeans being created, right?
Okay.
A silk dress saves 30 liters of water. A cashmere sweater saves 80 liters of water. So these are averages based on the fact that the Real Real does not have transparency into the production of garments listed on its site. So that's an issue, is that we don't really know how much water it takes to produce jeans and things because
Okay.
that's just an average.
Okay. And also, is that including like shipping costs or shipping?
That's just water usage. The sustainability calculator, which we could go into, would look at different aspects like how much of the carbon footprint it is. I mean, that was just a sampling of what the
Okay.
sustainability calculator will tell you. I don't have serious numbers on how much it saves to buy a used pair of jeans as opposed to
Okay.
a
Yeah,
new
because
one.
like you said,
Again, shipping, right?
it just averages. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a really tough calculation. But this was just in the production of a new pair.
Okay.
Okay, it takes 279 liters of water to make a new pair of jeans.
On average.
Yeah, right. Which is a lot of water, actually.
That is a lot.
They also said that they estimate that for every one item that you consign, a third of that item is not produced anew. So basically, if you consign 3 pairs of jeans, you're saving the world from creating a new pair of jeans, which is
Interesting.
kind of a weird number. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, okay.
Sure.
That is an interesting way to look at it, is that like creating these clothing new is a huge problem. So you might want to use a consignment store to buy and sell your clothes for that
Okay.
reason. Okay, now why wouldn't you use thredUp?
Well, the assholes don't take very much, first off. No,
Well,
I'm just
there's
kidding.
that. They don't. I mean, but it also increases your willingness to buy junk clothes because you
Yes.
think you can just resell them.
Mm-hmm.
So it increases wish cycling, right?
Totally.
You're just like, oh, I can just give this to thredUp when I'm done. You also may not be donating the clothes you think you're donating or recycling them. And in my opinion, it's a scam. Now,
Really?
yes. Okay. So my story about thredUp, the reason I don't like them, when I was getting married, I bought a dress from Saks Fifth Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And being a soon to be bride, I was like, oh, I'll lose weight. So I bought a size that I was like a wish size, right?
Yes.
I never got down to that weight. I got diagnosed with an eating disorder. I actually ended up gaining 30 pounds. So
Oh God. Rough.
I couldn't send the dress back to Saks Fifth Avenue because I took too long. They had like a 90-day window for returns.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I was like, this isn't going to work, I was well past that. So I said, you know what? I'll sell it on thredUp. I had been using thredUp to buy clothing. I had used their clean out bag service once and sent them a bunch of clothes and hadn't made any money off of it. I think, well, like 20 cents off of a sweater or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, but this is a designer dress. It's worth money. Like it's worth $300.
Mm-hmm.
It's still got the tags on. It's still in the bag,
Okay.
that
Oh.
it came in.
Whoa.
So I sent it to thredUp and I didn't click on there, like send it back to me if it doesn't sell
Oh.
because I was like, there's no way it's not going to sell. So a few weeks later, I'm like, well, what happened to my dress? So I get on my app and it says it'd been destroyed because it was in bad shape. And they had said when they got it that there was a huge stain on it.
Oh my God.
And I said, do you have like picture evidence of the stain? Because I sent it with the tags on in the bag. And they're like, no, we don't keep that information. I was like, there's no freaking way that happened. I
Wow.
was so upset. And I mean, it was compounded by the fact that this was supposed to be my wedding dress and it, I had spent
Right.
$300 on it and I had gained weight and all these miserable things about, what goes into the emotion of your wedding dress,
Right.
which
The
I don't
wedding
recommend.
industrial
But
complex.
yes, even if you're like trying to be an alternative bride, it doesn't work.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
it's in
Totally.
there. It's in there. My theory, and I can't prove this, is that somebody at the warehouse saw that I had said I didn't want it back. So they claimed it was stained, claimed it was destroyed, and they took it and they sold it. Because
Oh.
this dress was still for sale on Saks Fifth Avenue full price.
Oh my gosh. And it wasn't like a wedding dress. It was just a
No,
dress.
it's just a nice. I actually bought a different version of it and decided to wear it. I actually bought like a full wedding dress because I, got sucked in.
Yeah.
But I bought a version of it. It was just a really nice, and I might wear it to events and stuff. But I wore it to my rehearsal dinner.
Uh-huh.
It was just like a like nice crochet lace over like a slip, just really pretty like cream colored dress, like
Yeah.
knee length. Very nice. But anyway, so I am not the only person that this has happened to. If you look through thredUp, a lot of people have problems with stuff going missing or.
Oh wow.
And I think they may have tamped down on it a little bit. I haven't touched them in 5 years since then, whenever that
Yeah.
was. Well, and also they don't give you money back. Like you get
Right.
3% on and they decide how much they're going to sell something for.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is there just isn't a market for resale clothes. Like unless it's really nice, nobody wants your stupid Gap t-shirt.
Yeah, or like a crew neck with a stretch out neck.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely not going to sell.
Right. Because I've seen a lot of clothes on there that I'm like, these don't look like they're in good shape.
Yeah.
So my thing was I was using thredUp a lot when they first started, and it was free to get
Yeah. The
the
clean out bag.
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could get it right away. But then as time went on, I think they just had to sort of figure out a way to become profitable, probably.
Well,
And
and okay, I'm going to get
okay.
into that. So the issue is that people are pieces of shit when it comes to trying to resell clothes. And I don't know if it's sunk cost fallacy or wish cycling, but again, nobody wants your t-shirt with a stretched out neck. Nobody, right? If it has a stain on it, you can't sell that. I don't care if it's Jean Paul Gaultier. Like nobody wants your sweat stained. And the thing is, people just dump. If you give somebody a clean out bag, they're going to
Right.
put trash in it and send it to you, which is why
Right.
thredUp charges money for that. So,
No, it makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. I just remember they also shoot, what was it? It was like just a bunch of fees started adding up, and I was like, this
Yes.
is not worth it
It's
for
not.
me.
I would rather just give my stuff to Goodwill, honestly.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, yeah, they don't. I don't think they donate their stuff. I didn't go deep in their website. I think they do send it to textile recycling companies, which
Okay.
is fine.
That's fine with me.
They
Yeah.
might sell it to them. So they might be making more money off of it, which, go capitalism. But let's talk about the clothing industry. Just so we can get a hang on, why is this happening? According to roundup.org, this is just going to be a Rolodex of numbers. Okay. Up to 100 billion garments are produced by the fashion industry worldwide every year. 100 billion garments.
100?
There aren't even 10 billion people on the earth.
Holy
So
shit.
consider that. And not many of them have purchasing power to buy new garments either. So just
Right.
consider that 100 billion garments for maybe 2 billion people. Okay.
Jesus.
50 billion garments per person, right? Yikes. Each year, as much as 92 million tons of clothing ends up in landfills. Only 20% of all textiles, that's towels, clothing, sheets, are collected for reuse or recycling globally. So
What was the
that's
percentage?
20%, 1 in 5.
Whoa.
Yeah. Almost 60% of all clothing material is actually plastic. So that's nylon, acrylic, and polyester.
Okay.
And they're just everywhere. So it's plastic. It's plastic.
Right.
Textile production generates 42 million tons of plastic waste, making the textile industry the second highest industrial sector in plastic after packaging.
Oh
So
my
your friend Dow
God.
Jones, or not Dow Jones, it's Dow Jones Chemical Company, right?
No, I think just Dow.
I'm sorry,
Dow
Dow Jones
Chemical.
is the stock market
Financial.
index.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I worked in finance. It's in there. The Dow Chemical Company fucking loves, I'm sorry, pardon my French, loves
Don't
textile.
apologize.
Yeah, it beeps it out on Spotify, so we're fine.
Does it?
Yeah.
I
I
had
was
no
listening the
idea.
other night and I was like, oh, it beeped it. Neat.
That is funny.
Yeah. So anyway, so packaging and then clothing and textiles. Okay, just consider that. If you hate plastic, put fast fashion up there. Okay, every time a synthetic garment is washed, it releases tiny plastic microfibers into the water.
Yes.
Up to 500,000 tons of microfibers end up in the ocean every year for the turtles.
Holy shit.
Textiles and fashion waste account for 9% of annual microplastic pollution. The
Whoa.
footwear industry and garment industry combined are responsible for 8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. 8%.
Oh my God.
The US generates just over 17 million tons of textile municipal solid waste per year, according to the most recent EPA data, which I think is from 2018 still. So that's 112 pounds per person. Textile junk.
Oh my
Every
God.
year.
You said per year?
Per year. 112 pounds per year.
112 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't, but I'm not big into clothes.
Yeah. Well, that means your neighbor next door or my roommate who used to order something new on Wish every day.
God.
Yeah. So 60% of all unwanted clothes and textiles are just sent to the landfill in the US.
Wow.
Less than 15% are recycled, and the rest, 20%, are burned.
Huh.
Yeah. Now, another interesting fact is we own 60% more clothing than we did 15 years ago.
15?
60% more clothing than we owned 15 years ago.
What?
So that's in the 2000s, 2005.
How?
We've owned 60, well, just shipping, Amazon, Wish. It's easy. And the fast fashion industry has done it. But we also wear each item 50% fewer than we used to.
What?
Yeah. So you buy an item, you're going to wear it half as much, and you have twice as many clothes as you used to.
This is
that kind of makes sense.
You know what? Now I'm making some connections here because
Yeah.
remember I said that like most of the plastic that we've created in the entire world has been in the last like 15 years.
It's
17
fast
years.
fashion, baby.
Oh my God.
So clothing sales will reach 160 million tons by 2050 if we keep going at this rate.
Oh my God. We cracked the code, people.
Yeah, this is plastic, baby.
Jesus.
Your Target shopping trip is the problem. Your Amazon habit is the problem.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you have all these clothes. Now, we all love Marie Kondo. We love the clean out. You have 60% more clothes than you've had before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize, like, my closet is overstuffed and I never wear any of it and it makes me miserable. What do? I donate it, right?
Yes.
Okay. What happens to your clothes when you donate it? Reader's Digest went deep into it. On average, we throw away 70 to 81 pounds of textiles every year. That's on average. Again, according to that other statistic, is 112 pounds per person, according to the latest census statistics. So somewhere between 70 and 115 pounds per person a
And
year.
that's just straight in the trash.
Just straight in the trash.
Okay.
Okay, so Reader's Digest says, here's how donations can go. 90% of what you donate to your local charity shop, that's Goodwill, Salvation Army, whatever the thrift store down the road is. We had one in Albuquerque that catered specifically to trans youth, which I love to donate to and shop at.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but most of that will go to a textile recycler because it's unsellable because nobody wants your stupid shit.
Okay, so most of the stuff you donate is not getting resold.
No, it will go to a
I've
textile
heard
recycler.
that before.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Now, the caveat for this is as long as there aren't major stains, oil stains, or mildew on it. People donate fucking mildewed clothing. I'm so angry about this. I'm sorry. I'm just going to drop the F-bomb like it's incessantly during the show.
No,
If it's
I mean, I'm not
moldy,
surprised. I used
Yeah.
to work at a used bookstore. I might have mentioned that.
Oh my
and
God, yes.
it's like some people were lovely and so clearly careful about their stuff. And it was all in really good condition, often all hardbacks, whatever. Other people, oh my lordy.
The trash book you would get with no cover and like 4
and like
pages and like
stuff that was wet.
Yeah. Like, how did this get here? People are trash. Like, you don't want to see the interiors of most people's lives. People live in the weirdest and you know what? I get it. Sometimes you're just overwhelmed and you need to get those books out of it's your mom's,
Yeah.
a hoarder and you've got to clean it out. I get it.
Well, I was going to say, we're going to talk about this at the end of the season about like hoarding. And it's truly interesting. I've already been doing a little bit of research and it's like, it's not like we can't shame people for it.
No, it's blind
it's a
consumerism.
product of our society.
Yeah. It is 100%. Textile recyclers use your clothing and whatever textiles, towels. This includes towels, linens, etc. Carpet padding, insulation, rags, etc. Or they're sent to foreign countries for quote unquote recycling. And this I will get into later.
Sounds like plastic.
Yeah. It is very much like plastic. One interesting thing that Reader's Digest pointed out is that those roadside collection bins that say like donate your clothes here for charity are, especially the ones that are just like painted with, they don't have like an official, they're not Big Brothers, Big Sisters or whatever. They are actually usually just textile recycling companies who are like, this is a charity. It's not. It's a textile recycling company.
That's so interesting. Is there a problem with recycling textiles?
No. It's just they're
because
getting
that doesn't really bother me, to be honest.
No,
but that is
because
really
there's so much textile in the world that needs to be. So I'm fine with that. But sometimes they will.
I thought you were going to say it's just a dumpster.
No, well, depending on what goes in there, if you throw a moldy rag in there and it's the whole rest of the thing, it is a dumpster now.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, but anyway, they're getting your stuff for free, whereas they would have had to buy it from Goodwill or whatever.
Wow, that's sometimes kind of genius.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes to operate legally with those boxes, they have to donate a percentage of their profits to charity. The thing is, you'll never know.
Wow.
So if you're just desperate to get rid of, clothing that you definitely can't resell, just put it in one of those donation boxes. It'll be recycled.
Wow.
Or you could find a textile recycling company near you. But
that's what would you call it? Not green hooey, but like charity hooey. Anyway,
charity hooey. Yeah, that's charity hooey for sure. Yeah. So anyway, that's something to be aware of. Okay, now there are sometimes you may have noticed. I noticed because I bought some jeans from Levi's a couple of years ago. H&M, Gap, Patagonia, Madewell, they all have these buyback programs or take back programs where like if you're like done with your pair of jeans and like they'll take it back. But only 1% of what they take back can be made into new clothing.
Oh.
Usually because it's a cotton plastic blend.
Huh. So plastic is, again, the devil. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, I'm reevaluating my entire wardrobe, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. So most of that gets donated to textile recycling companies. And
interesting.
Couch stuffing.
Okay.
So just so you know, they call those programs, they refer to them as the good trade called them greenwashing. So
really,
they're green hooey. Those programs, yeah,
because they're misleading about.
Yeah, because they say they can do more than. They're basically like plastic recycling. They can't do most of what they're claiming they can.
Gotcha. Okay, because they do make claims that they're turning it into new clothes.
Well, they're saying they'll try.
Okay.
That's the caveat, right?
Lordy.
We'll try.
Okay.
And it makes you feel better about buying more stuff from them.
Yes, exactly.
Which is the same with the Coca-Cola company. You feel fine buying a 2-liter bottle of Coke because you're like, oh, this will get recycled. It won't.
Right. Damn geniuses.
Yep.
And evil geniuses.
Evil geniuses, right? Money-making swine. Anyway, according to Green America, Goodwill's process is as follows. 5% of the clothes they get are sent directly to landfills immediately, mostly because of mildew. Then they put stuff up for sale. And remember that there are human beings who are sorting this stuff. So don't throw your bullshit clothes in the poor people who have to do this. It's not like...
Oh, yeah. It's rough.
Ugh. So they'll put it up for sale. If they can't sell it after 4 weeks, they are sent to Goodwill outlets where everything is 99 cents a pound.
Okay.
I don't know where those are. They're throughout the U.S. After that, they're sent to Goodwill auctions where they're all thrown into mystery bins.
Oh my God. I know somebody who goes to these.
Okay. And they buy all that. Okay. Yeah. So you can buy a
wild.
bin starting at $35, but you bid on it. Basically, it's like Storage Wars. You don't know what's in it, but you're going to get a bin full of clothes, of textiles.
Clothes and needles. But anyway, and glass.
God.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's just junk. Yeah.
It's really bad.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Then they send whatever's left to textile recycling centers. So that's, again,
so
according to Reader's Digest, it's 90% of what you donate ends up in those recycling centers.
Okay. So everything, at least all of the sellable clothes, they do try to sell it for 4 weeks. See, I thought they took they just had so much that they couldn't even try to sell it, that they just threw it away. Or threw it to the recycling.
At least 5% are sent. I think they do.
I didn't think that for any reason. You're right. I'm just saying, like, that kind of surprises me, actually, because it's so much.
So much stuff. Well, and I think we may be missing a step in the sorting process where 5% is just mildewy or stained and they have to throw it away. And then probably more of it goes through sorting and is unsellable and they have to throw it away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Most thrift stores don't track what happens to the clothing after they sell it or give it away to the next step in the process. So the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. We don't know what they don't know what happens to your t-shirt after it goes to the textile recycler. They don't know.
Okay.
So there's not like statistics on and then 90% of that is recycled and 5%, we don't know.
Oh. So we don't really know if they're actually using it all?
Right. We don't know. I mean, we have to go through what textile recyclers do.
Right.
So the Good Trades article on textile recycling says it's post-consumer clothing, that's the stuff you bought, wore once and gave away, and pre-consumer collection, which is scraps from manufacturers, hotels, hospitals, or clothing that was never worn because it was never sold.
Okay.
The materials are sorted by fiber, so natural versus synthetic, and then graded for either resale, so they can resell that to more manufacturers as a textile recycler, or recycling. Okay. So this got weird for me. They can shred natural fibers and respin them into yarn. Most of the stuff is turned into insulation, stuffing, or cleaning rags. Okay, because you can't. Now, this was where I got a little confused. The process uses thermomechanical processing to separate plastics, right?
Okay.
Natural fibers in that process burn off in the heat. So if they're recycling a polyester or cotton poly blend garment, basically they burn off the cotton and melt the polyester.
And then they try to reuse the polyester.
They can reuse the polyester.
So interesting.
So they said that natural fibers can be respun into yarn, but that's actually harder to do than just melt plastic and reuse it.
Huh.
So that means cotton is harder to recycle than polyester, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah, that is, especially if it's already mixed, if it's like polyester mixed with something else.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, that was hard to wrap my brain around.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the International Clothing Donation Scheme. International importing of pre-consumer clothing is extremely bad, and post-consumer clothing. So this is the Guardian article that I mentioned earlier. that I've been saving for 8 weeks or whatever. They break it down for what happens in Ghana, which is the biggest importer of used clothing in Africa.
Whoa. I
Mhm.
studied in Ghana. I don't know if you
Oh,
knew
okay.
that.
Did you?
When I was in college, yeah.
Did you see this?
Well, I did see a guy. So I went to Indiana University and I saw a guy with a like Hoosier shirt, and I was like, "Hey!"
Yeah. Okay. Well, and that was the thing
He didn't
people
know what
talk
it
about.
was. He was like, "I
Yeah.
don't freaking
I
care."
just bought it. Well, they talk about, it used to be when they made all those Super Bowl shirts, they'd make winners because you didn't have time to make it on demand
Mm-hmm.
the day that they went. So you'd have like whichever team, they had both teams as the
So
winners,
yeah,
and
so
then they
the
just shipped
losers
the
were
the
yeah.
losers over to, yeah. Well,
Whoa.
because we've increased the amount of clothing we have so much in the past few years, this is a whole new issue in the last 15 years, right? They shippers take those bins from Goodwill or other aggregators and ship them to Ghana. People will buy those things at auction and just ship them to Ghana. The city of Accra is the largest secondhand clothing market in the world.
That's crazy. I did see a lot of clothes there, but I don't
Yeah.
know if I
Well,
wow.
I mean, how long ago was that?
Well, yeah, 2010,
Okay.
2009. Yeah.
So it was probably right at the start of, but we're
Damn.
in fast fashion's fold right now.
Damn.
At that market, they'll separate the clothing into bales. And again, it's a grab bag. And traders will spend $120 to $200 US dollars per bale. 40% of the average bale in Accra has to be thrown away because it's worthless.
Okay.
So that's 100 tons every day
Oh
of
my god.
unusable clothing. 30% of that is collected by a municipal waste program. So the city of Accra has a waste program that will collect it. The rest of it ends up in illegal dumps or ditches and drains.
Yeah, that isn't surprising.
Yeah, because that is a problem. That's why we ship our waste away, because we don't want it in our rivers. Well, it ends up in according to this article, the Oda River. So the article notes that the quality of secondhand clothing has decreased dramatically over the past few years. Thank you, fast fashion, which is
God.
why the Oda River is now so polluted by discarded clothing. They're
Wow.
not able to resell it like they could have when you were there.
Oh my god. Wow. That is crazy to me.
Yeah. In this article, they focused on an activist who's a swimmer named Yvette Ya Konadu Tete, and she swam the river to raise awareness about the pollution.
Wow.
And she had a research vessel follow her and take samples of the water as she swam.
I was gonna say, did she get really sick?
Well, no, I think she was able to do it, but like the pictures are harrowing. I mean, it is seriously, go look at it.
Wow.
It's horrible. And, it's plastic in the water and it clogs the waterways and it seriously affects nearby farming. I mean, uh, it's awful. So that's what happens to your clothing. Like, it ends up in the river in Ghana and it ends up in the sea turtle's stomach. And you're not going to sell it on thredUp. Nobody wants it. So what can you do? Quit buying cheap new clothes. Seriously. That's it. Stop. Quit going to
Right.
Target and buying that dress. Not only are they usually made in sweatshops, right? I didn't even go into that about who is making your clothing, children or underpaid workers in horrible conditions, but they're also made from plastics that pollute everything when you wash them, when you throw them away, whenever. So just stop. You have enough clothing.
Wow. Well, I was gonna say, and I also know for a fact that social media is a contributing to it because
Hmm.
there's lots of influencers who feel like they
I
have to.
I fall prey to it. I'm like, I need that dress. I need that dress.
Yeah, that 5 cent dress. You're like,
Yeah.
what? How is it so cheap?
Yep. Because it was made by a child and it's cheaply produced and they made a lot of them and it's plastic and they're just going to throw it away. Buy high quality clothing and have it tailored. That's it. Because if it's high quality and it's made by a sustainably made house, I can't list any right now. I know I've looked at a few, but we will have an episode on sustainable clothing brands. But yeah, learn how to sew and fix clothing that has holes in it. So that was what the trend that we were talking about, visible
Yeah.
mending. So that's a cool idea. Like it adds like a touch of personality to your
Mm-hmm.
clothes if you patch it with something, not like a patch you buy at Michael's or whatever, but like a created flower, or like you can embroider stuff. And like I actually know a woman here in town who does her own embroidery and patching and things, and it just looks
Very
really
cool.
personalized and really cool.
I have a problem with, like, wearing the crotch out of my jeans. I'm
Yes.
not sure if I could do an
We should
embroidered
look up some
flower.
ideas for that. Well, I mean, but there's, like, stitches you could do, like there's
I'm sure
ways.
there's something.
I mean, I'm not that creative myself.
Yeah. My husband, I don't know why, but Joe
Mhm.
just he has razor knees. I have
Yeah.
no clue. It's always only the knees. Even with, like, his raw denim jeans, he's worn
Yeah.
the knees out, and I'm like, "I literally have never done that in my life, so I don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing."
I bust through in the knees before I bust through anywhere else.
So funny. Maybe once, but
Or the
man,
pockets.
it
But
doesn't take him long.
so my friend, he dyes his jeans, like, when they fade. He has 2 pairs of jeans that he wears, and he dyes them black, and you would never know they
Oh,
weren't new, but he dyes them.
very cool.
Yeah, so that's something you could do too. You can hold clothing swaps with your friends. Now this can be a crapshoot because your friends might have fast fashion
Different
crap taste
sizes,
or
yeah.
different sizes. I've gotten a lot of really great hand-me-down dresses from
Yeah, my
girlfriends.
friends and I have done that once before.
Yeah. I have some friends with really good taste, some artist friends that I'm like, I'll take that. My sister and I send clothes back and forth sometimes, so that too.
That's smart, yeah.
Yeah, use your Facebook Buy Nothing group. There's so many clothes on there all the time, and there are people like I've gotten a prom dress on there that we used for our running group when we were
Oh,
running
right.
dresses. Yeah, so you can those Buy Nothing groups are pretty good.
Mine won't let me in. I tried again and it wouldn't let
Ah,
me.
boo.
I don't know what the deal is. Yeah,
That sucks. That is weird.
I know.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Start your
I
own.
did join Free Cycle though, and Free
Okay,
Cycle has
that's
been
a good thing
legit.
too. Free Cycle's great.
Yeah,
Craigslist free stuff too.
right.
Especially like baby clothes and stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, baby clothes.
They're because they wear them for a day and then they're grown out of them, and it's
And then they get stained by avocado, so it doesn't even
yes,
matter.
they have avocado stains.
I went to Salvation Army and I got Charlie, I think it's a handmade little apron.
Oh,
It looks
cute.
handmade, but it was $1.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, "Yes, please."
yeah. I mean, okay. That was my next thing: is buy your clothes from thrift stores.
Right.
Seriously, I mean, you can use the thredUp or the Real. I don't, whatever, and buy new to you stuff too if you don't mind that they're scoundrels. I think the Real might be slightly better than thredUp, but again, it's all they're they're making money off you. The Goodwill, Salvation Army. I mean, I don't go to Salvation Army for religious purposes, but Goodwill does use their stuff for charitable purposes. And again, there's probably thrift stores in your neighborhood that do good things.
Oh, yeah, like tiny, small
Yeah.
business thrift stores. I was also gonna say, I just remembered one reason I dislike thredUP is that they charge you to if you don't like your clothes, they charge you to send them back, if
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
remembering correctly, and it was, like, not cheap.
No, it's
So,
more than shipping. Yeah.
yeah, it was absurd.
Which is why one of the reasons I signed on not to have my $300 dress sent back to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah. Try a rental service. I do know that some of the rental services have shady practices. I haven't gone into it.
Interesting. I did Rent the Runway for a minute,
I
and then
did
it was
rent a
so
runway too.
freaking expensive.
And hard to find the right sizes because sizes are so different. You have to do
Right.
so much research.
I only did, like, coats and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I enjoyed it like for events.
Mhm.
I rented a dress for my birthday, which is great. So I think it's good for like weddings and stuff. I think it's
Yeah.
worth it. It's cheaper than buying a new dress for sure. And especially
Yeah.
just what are you going to do with a new dress? But
Yeah.
turn clothing into rags on paper towels,
Mhm.
reuse them.
I think I figured something out about
Yeah.
the rags. If you use pinking shears, doesn't that stop the edges from fraying?
I couldn't say that, but that's a very good possibility.
Let me just look up what do pinking shears do. Yeah, to limit the length of frayed thread. So mine, I just cut
Cut
up
with
and they
scissors.
fray like crazy. So just get some pinking shears.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Okay. That's smart. Yeah. So you can use, I mean, my mom used to use my dad's undershirts to like wipe down windows and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they're soft, they're nice. Make sure now this is really important. Be better about your donations. Make sure you're really only giving good stuff to Goodwill or thrift stores.
Right.
Cuz, Buffalo Exchange will like whatever, but Goodwill will take whatever you have, whatever trash you give them, and it
Yeah.
means if you put one mildewed wash rag, it can ruin a whole barrel of stuff, and then it's just going to end up in the river in Ghana. So just
Ugh.
I
Horrible.
do your own landfilling. If it's moldy, throw it away. That's the one thing you should be throwing away is moldy stuff.
Yes.
The other thing is you can learn to sew and make your own clothes using upcycled materials, which I will applaud you for. I bought a sewing machine. I have done nothing with it. But that also for mending your clothing is really a good idea. Just learn to
Mm-hmm.
sew. Just
Some
do
people
it.
are really good at it, and
Yes.
I have friends who are really good at it, and it's really amazing. I also have a sewing machine, and I like have sewn before, and I know the basics of how to operate it, but
Yeah.
creating, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creating new stuff from scratch. Yeah,
Yeah.
my sister has done a lot. We're supposed to have a sew-in session where we get on Zoom together and she's going to teach me how to sew, but
Oh, that's really cool.
she has 3 children, so that's harder to do than it sounds. But
Right.
we'll see. Maybe sometime soon. But those are just my ideas. There's plenty of things you can do with clothes, but number 1 is just quit buying new clothes. Just stop. This is probably the biggest place that American consumers can reduce their plastic consumption. Just reduce, reduce, reduce.
Yeah, that infuriates me
Yeah.
and really feels like a kick in the ass to be
Yeah.
like, oh, plastic. Oh,
Yeah.
that I
It's in
didn't
your
even think
clothes.
about.
I mean, we've talked about how bamboo and hemp and cotton all use all this water. The plastic is terrible. It's
Yeah, it's
really
just,
bad.
there's nothing good about it.
No. I mean, it's cheap. That's it.
Yeah.
But only
Yep.
like it's cheap on the front end and on the back end it's going to kill all the sea turtles. So
Right.
that's the price you pay. So yeah, quit. I know
Uh,
it's fun to go to Target and buy cheap clothes. And I know sometimes you just need a t-shirt. And I'm
right.
not, fine. Okay. But really consider how much clothing do you need? Really?
Right. I want to start a capsule wardrobe.
I started to try to do that too, but then I just
Yeah,
ended up
it's one of those
I'm not a
things.
capsule kind of girl. But I do need to wear the clothes that I have, you know,
Right.
because I work from home and I'm a slob, so I wear like the other thing is I'm going to say it is hard, especially as a woman who's been diagnosed with an eating disorder. My weight has fluctuated, and who's over 30, who's over
Mm-hmm.
40. Let's get even further. My weight has fluctuated insanely. And
Right.
so,
I mean, same. Like after having a baby,
yeah.
I haven't stabilized. It's
Yeah.
like all over the place.
Part of me is like, okay, you just have to learn to get rid of the clothes that make you feel bad because they're too small. But then it's like, then I'll lose the weight and I'll come back
Right.
and be like, I wish I had that tutu dress that I gave away 6 years ago. But,
Right.
it's like, all right. So yeah, I mean, that's one
That
thing.
is a
Like,
big part. Yeah.
I can't buy clothes right now because I have no idea what size I'm going to be in a year. But
Right.
I can go to thrift stores and find 5 things I like wearing and wear those,
Mm-hmm.
and it's worth the effort. It's worth the time.
Yeah, because I think that's what we're all. It can be a confidence boost if your clothes fit well, but I think that's kind of what you're saying is like buy good stuff
Get
that,
it tailored.
yeah, that you get
Let it in, let
tailored,
it out. Yeah.
and then it will actually fit you.
Again, now that's expensive. So it's not for everyone.
Right.
But I mean, go to the thrift store and find one t-shirt that fits you well rather than 4 t-shirts that kind of fit you shoddily.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
be more choosy about your clothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the TLDR granola rating for
Yes.
thredUp specifically. I want to give it a soggy because of my personal experience with them and I'm still mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, I'm going to give all these online consignment stores a 3 overall because a chewy. So our
Okay.
scale is from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, being soggy, 5 being break your tooth off, which is the best because crunchy granola is the best. 3 is chewy. While online consignment stores like thredUp do reduce the carbon footprint of clothing consumption overall, okay, there's no arguing with that. Not buying something new is best. However, they still encourage unending consumption, which is the reason we have this problem in the first place.
Right.
Also, we don't know what they do with the clothes they don't sell, so they may just be contributing to the pile up in Ghana anyway.
Right.
It's still better than throwing your clothes directly in the trash, which apparently I didn't realize this. Most people just do that, I
Hmm.
guess, because only 20% of textiles in the US are recycled. So, I
Right.
mean, at least take it to one of those shady looking bins that's actually just a textile recycling place. Just do that. Just drop it off.
It's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, quit throwing your stuff in the trash, reuse it, quit buying new stuff, period. Yeah, so that's my takeaway from
Wow.
thredUp. Yeah.
Athleisure has a whole new like I have a whole new
Yeah.
understanding of
Yeah. Your
athleisure.
yoga pants, those are all plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Wowzas.
Yeah. So,
Well,
anyway, yeah, happy fuck fast fashion. FFF. That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. That is a lot of research. My
Yeah.
God, that's like such a topic. I'm
And I
impressed that you.
I didn't even scratch the surface.
No,
So
absolutely. I'm impressed that you even were able to
it was
consolidate it that much.
rage researching.
That was plastic and
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Rage. Yeah. Plastic rage. So, okay.
Wow.
Well, what's next week? We're doing
Great.
home composting. Oh, thank you. Composting is next week.
Yes. We're going to be talking about mill. So I wanted to look into this new mill. It's sort of like from what I understand, it's like a startup kind of home composting system. So I wanted to look at.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
there's a bunch of ads for it. You've probably
Of
seen
course.
online. Yeah.
Because we're chronically online. Yes.
Yeah. Like on Instagram, I've seen a bunch. And so I just wanted to look into it and see if it's legit or not or worth our time.
Okay.
So I'm not going to sign up for it. It's too expensive. But
Oh, bummer. Okay. Well, that already gives it a knockdown on
I
our
know that's
granola
the
range.
hard thing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look for reviews and stuff and kind of consolidate it. So.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to hear about it.
And it's not even, you'll see. It's not even like crazy expensive. It's just not for me right now. So,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, one thing at a time. You got to buy your metal straws first.
And I have a home composting bin that I got for free from my county, and I want to try to set that up and like actually do my own composting. So, that's really the
fun.
plan. Yeah. So I got to get on that and stuff, but
you have a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see worm-filled compost by next week.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
petunias.
be the most lush brown. Yes, my petunias came back.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, good.
The
Don't
deer
tell the
spray
deer.
is everything.
Oh yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, they're
that's
thriving.
Yay!
I should post pictures.
Yes.
Post RIP. Back from the dead. My zombie petunias.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a good night, and yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please, if you could
leave a review.
We would love 5 stars. We'll take 4. Whatever granola rating you want to give us, we will take.
Right? Are we break your tooth off? I hope so.
Please tell us we broke your tooth off today.
We'll pay for your dental work.
No, we won't. Do not promise that. They will come for you. I'm already getting sued by thredUp for calling them treacherous. So.
Yeah, so
let's not spend all of our
reviews
money.
Reviews help a lot.
Yes,
like surprisingly. So
yeah.
Anywhere you listen, you can just scroll down and give us some stars and leave a written review if you feel like it, if you have time. So
yeah, we really appreciate you spending your time with us and learning about fast fashion today. FFF. All right. Good night, Tiff.
Good night.